Hello darlings, it is RUJAZZLE here. Welcome back to my channel. Well, in today's video we are doing something that is much requested, and that is a little Q&A. Yes, we are finally doing it, and I am bringing along my good drag sister, Miss CJ Banks, for the ride. She knows all my dirt. We've had many drunken shenanigans and lots of mishaps together, so she knows it all. Thank you for all of your questions. I'm going to call CJ right now and we'll dive into that Q&A. Hello, how are you, Miss Thing?
Hi, Miss RUJAZZLE. How is your day going so far?
Stunning. I feel very glamorous. How about you?
Feeling just a tad glamorous. Nothing too fancy. Yes, red gloves. She's wearing gloves. It's important. Other than that, you know, trying it this new hair.
I'm enjoying this spit curl.
We love a spit curl moment, and it's to what? Hide lace.
Styled with Gary's cum.
And this love. Let me tell you about this eco gel for baby hairs.
Are you wearing anything underneath that?
The little jacket starts here. The glove is covered all the way up. I'm covered from head to nipple, and then I'm, you know, naked underneath.
Just a delicate springtime look, CJ. Right, so shall we dive into these questions?
We asked you all on the Tinternet to send us your burning questions, and now we're sitting down to reveal all.
Question number 1 comes from Matthew Darcy, and he says, did you have any drag names before you settled on your final one? So you can go first.
You're saying I can go first because your answer is no and my answer is yes. So of course, before I was CJ, I briefly, for about a week or a month, went under the name CJ Banks. Often miss it, often think of going back to it, but no, we're sticking with CJ for now. CJ, of course, comes from CJ in Street Fighter, because I'm a gamer nerd, a gamer with a Y. Other than that, no. Now I often think about just dropping the Banks entirely and going by CJ, but there's a lot of famous CJs, so we'll see.
So, I mean, my answer, if you've watched my video about reacting to old drag photos, you'll know that I didn't choose my drag name, so at no point have I ever thought of anything else, really, because it's past the point of no return, really.
You can't change what's already cemented in shit.
Next question comes from a diva, an icon, the only Latex. What a queen, go follow her. And I love this question. She asks us, what is each other's top toot and top boot of looks from Mother Tucker? Now, of course, at Mother Tucker, we were always serving shenanigans.
Most frequently, the theme was comedy wigs.
Exactly. Hard fronts, wacky bizarre, ugly. So let's just say looks in general. So I think my top toot, I would say, is your devil look. That was really fierce from the Suck photo shoot. You know, with the big horns?
Oh, the red one.
Yeah, that was so fierce.
I agree. Best look I've ever turned.
Really fierce, and for once, I mean, whenever we do a photo shoot, CJ's looks are held together with a wish and a prayer and duct tape. That one, for once, didn't fall apart. At least
until after we finished shooting.
Yeah. Then it fell apart. So if you ever wonder why CJ never wears her photo shoot looks, it's because she can.
Custom construction, honey. Custom.
I can't wait till you're on Drag Race and your outfit falls apart on the main stage.
Like lip syncing and foam starts melting off of my body. Delish. Do you have a worst one?
Oh, honey.
So many.
I mean, there's a cornucopia of heinous looks from CJ. But I think my favourite is, and I think it's the people's most hated look, and that is your lavender baby doll shift dress that looks like a lumpy sweater.
I love that dress. I thought you were going to be meaner and be like when you were Mr. G. That purple thing is nice. How dare you? My God.
I mean, you say it's from the 60s. I think it should stay in the 60s, is all I'm saying.
It's mod.
It's knitted. We're going knitwear. That's the category. That's very upsetting to hear. Well, I'm going to start my least favourite look that you've ever pulled. Because of the entire sleep paralysis demon aspect of it, is your sloth look from the 7 Deadly Sins, Mother Tucker. And I will link a photo right below because RUJAZZLE doesn't want that photo to be seen. But it's iconic. It's iconic. The best look you've ever pulled. I think I really loved the photo at the end of your first art series. The paintbrush crown, the white gown, the splattery makeup. I think that was stunning.
Oh, that was a fun one. Yeah. Okay, next question from, again, Matthew Darcy. If you're watching season 12 of Drag Race, who are you rooting for? My answer is everyone. I like the entire cast, apart from Redacted. It's been one of my favourite casts in a long time.
I often look and say, what will each of the winners bring to the winner's circle? And for me, storyline-wise, I don't think Crystal can win because it's following on from Evie, and I think they bring too much of the same thing. I think we have a lot of similar queens to Gigi in the winner's circle already. Therefore, I say crown Miss Jada Essence the Beauty Hall.
I'd be very down for Jada winning. I think she's very, very fierce.
To give her extra props, the fact that she made, I think, all bar one of her costumes on season 12, that is talent.
That deserves props because I feel like these days, most queens arrive with an amazing wardrobe of things made for them, and Jada is arriving with things that she has made. That is like old school classic drag, and I love that.
It shows that she has such talent. It's like, oh, you can be a great comedy queen and have someone sew your outfits, but if you can do... Jada won one of each of the types of challenges. She won an improv, she won a look, and she won one of the other ones, the makeover. But like, for her to show such talent on so many different levels, crown Miss Jada Essence Hall.
Team Jada, guys, Team Jada. Okay, next question is from Libby Kernahan, and she says, I'm curious about your time at St. Andrews as a queer person. I think I've spoken a lot of smack about St. A's, and when I was there was a lot of queer people, lots of things happening that we kind of created ourselves. There's no like gay bars there or like queer spaces, but you kind of make your own, and we made our own fun. And also, like, I had lots of fun there with the LGBT society. I like was involved for many years.
I've only been there for drag walks, but I've had a great time. I think RUJAZZLE put such measures in place that the queer community is still strong and thriving there. So I think that, like, I wouldn't worry if I was a queer person going there today, because there's a lot happening and a lot going on, and a lot of people like you.
And also, I went there years ago, so it's probably very different now. And lots of the events that are still running were not running when I went there because I created them. So, yeah, exactly. So I think going now is probably very different from when I started going there. Okay, so Juniper gave us lots of questions. Miss Juniper Lovely, stan her. She asked us, what was the first gig that we did together?
It was probably a Chalkies. I believe it was probably... I know the first one, that I only ended up doing like 3 of them before it got canned. But I think I maybe did Lacey's with you, or yours with Lacey.
I can just, in my head, I can picture you, old classique CJ with that blonde rooted wig, with a leotard and your like khaki jacket, and I just thought, who is this little skank? And nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
I think that's true, and I think the first Mother Tucker we did together, and randomly I played Jasmine Masters for my performance, and then with absolutely no like prior knowledge, they were like, do you want to do Snatch Game? And I was like, yeah, I'll be Gia Gunn. Great.
Okay, moving on. Our next question is, if you had to put a famous actor in drag, which one do you think would be a good queen?
You go first.
And I think you're going to hate me for this answer. Mine would be Darren Criss. I think he'd be great. I think he's got a good face for it. I think he's got good eyes. And he's kind of done drag. He's done Hedwig on Broadway.
But only so that I could tuck him as part of the process. Who would I like to put in drag? So like watching Celebrity Drag Race has made me be like, anyone with the right makeup artist can look semi-decent. So it's more a case of like, who do I think would... I would have loved to have seen, before he passed, Robin Williams in full like Mrs. Doubtfire drag live, like doing a full show, because I think he plays such good like camp characters. Today, I think, who would I want to see in drag? I would love to see Jim Parsons, aka Sheldon. I think that'd be really, really funny.
Moving on. This one I think is more for you, CJ, and it is recast a famous musical with the Glasgow drag scene.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So we're recasting Six, the musical. I'm going to cast it right now. Anne Boleyn is me. Jane Seymour, Lola Fierce. Catherine of Aragon, I'm saying Miss Cotton Storm. Anne of Cleves, transgender. Catherine Howard is probably Loki Love Handles. And the last but not least, Catherine Parr, amphetamine.
Okay, I like that. So that question, I guess, was more for you. Here's one for me, I suppose, because I can't top that answer. It is, if you had to live inside a painting, which one would you choose? I think I'd want to be somewhere very relaxing, very serene. So I'm going to say Georges Seurat's Sunday Afternoon at the Island of Grand Jatte. That's a great one, right?
Because you can stand beside Bernadette Peters for the entirety of his existence.
And that is where musical theatre meets art history. There we go. That's where our worlds collide. Our next question is from Stuart Gary X, and he says, if you had to change anything about your life, what would it be and why?
I would have become a famous gymnast, never mind a drag queen. If I could go back, I always think the thing that I would have wanted to do is start gymnastics at like age 4 and just really like kill it.
Wait, so you would choose not to do drag?
I could do gymnastics first because by the time you are a retired male professional gymnast, you're like 25 or 26. So then I would, be a drag queen after.
I think my answer is not as extreme as that. I would say if I could change anything, I would have all of my student debt removed, please.
Oh no, if the student loans company is watching, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, our next question comes from Hyperion.Nix, and he says, what's the most embarrassing thing ever to happen to you in drag? Now, we got quite a few questions like this, and it's hard to narrow it down because drag is quite often quite embarrassing. I think I know what my answer is. And I think it was when we were on tour with Aquaria in Sheffield, and CJ and I, on that tour, we did our ABBA number, our ABBA duet, and in that venue in Sheffield, there's this massive box speaker thing, and for some reason, I thought that during the ABBA number, I would climb on top of it and try and jump off it. I think because Aquaria did it, and she's like a little supple 22-year-old, and I'm not that. I then got up on it. I didn't quite realise how high it was, jumped off it, and then fully decked it.
Broke the heel and then fell forward, and everyone was like, "Oh!" And he got up and was like, give me a man after midnight.
You know what? We completed the mix. I was hobbling away and we were doing thank you for the music, so I you know what? I got through it.
And you were raging because you just bought those boots for that tour. She was raging.
The most embarrassing gig that I've ever done.
Probably performing to people in a certain bar that they actively turned away and didn't make any eye contact. You know the bar I'm talking about. I'm not going to drop it. Every performance in that bar is top tier embarrassment level.
There's something special about, or not special. There's something soul crushing about performing in a venue where people are actively turning away. It literally kills your soul, and we've been there.
It makes you want to quit living right in that moment.
Next question is from the diva herself, Miss Asia Thorne. She says, have you ever had sex in drag?
Depends what you'd mean by sex. Because we're all born naked and the rest is drag, so if you are wearing clothes, you're in drag. If you've painted on your eyebrows to go get the trade RUJAZZLE, you're in drag. Next
question comes from Graham89X, and they say, oh my goodness, this one. Who was the worst / most unprofessional Ru girl you've ever toured with?
I've only been on tour with a few Ru girls, and they've all been lovely.
I will agree, they've all been lovely. I've never had any real issues with any of them. You know what, I'm going to name a name here, but it's not because, I don't think she's by any means the worst. She's a fabulous queen, but there's Greenwich Mean Time, and then there's House of Edwards time, and that's usually plus 2 hours. And I will say, on the Shangela tour, she was frequently, her timekeeping is quite something. And you know what, drag queens are not always great with timekeeping, but she is on another level.
I get an excuse in the future because I run on House of Edwards time. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, next question is from Elizabeth Moore, and she says, what songs have been lip-synced to death, and have you performed any of them? I can name a few. And I'm Telling You, Bad Guy, Billie Eilish. This Is Me from Greatest Showman is the other one.
Oh, This Is Me is stop.
The thing is, see, because we're going through this renaissance of drag, a lot of the things that were considered standards and like back in the old days of drag, where it was like your end of the piers, I think that they don't get done enough now because every twink is out there doing Born This Way, and I don't really like Beyonce that much. So like watching someone do Diva by Beyonce, no. Work Bitch by Britney, no. What else? There's like the ones that everyone thinks, oh, I'm being original by performing this song. No, you are not.
One thing with you and me is we quite often will have quite unusual song choices, I think. We do pick popular things, but CJ and I both love like a throwback. We love like an 80s, 90s, noughties throwback.
But that's the thing, like, see, because there is so much drag happening and so different many types of drag, most people are orientated to doing the new thing, the fresh thing. And on top of that, there's like, oh, what are you sick of seeing performed? There's a reason that And I'm Telling You is a standard, because if you do it in front of a completely hetty hen party audience, they'll die. So like, there is a reason that these things are overdone. There is a time and a place for them. Seeing And I'm Telling You in a gay bar is like, okay, someone did it last week. So there's a time and a place for everything. But what I will say is, Work Bitch and Diva should be stricken from the record.
Redacted. Okay, so the next one is, what is the best/worst heckler incident you've experienced, and how have you dealt with it/them?
We'd been hired to perform after the bingo in Kilmarnock at Mecca Bingo. And for all those who don't know, in Kilmarnock, on the last Friday of October, that is when people celebrate Halloween. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is. It doesn't matter what day of the month it is. The last Friday in October is always Halloween officially in Kilmarnock.
So there's Greenwich Mean Time, House of Edwards time, and then there's Kilmarnock time.
Yes. But the thing is, there's a lot of other places in the world that do the exact same thing, and it's because people got paid on Fridays. So that was, you didn't want to go out trick-or-treating, you didn't want to go out clubbing if you didn't get paid, so Friday became Halloween. But we performed on Halloween night, therefore, in Kilmarnock, at Mecca Bingo. There was maybe 25, 30 people there if we were lucky. And we were like, oh, so you're expecting a frock and a live singing diva, but we're giving you lip syncing. So we started, I think I did Isa, because I was like, oh, this will get the old crowd on side. And then I think we did our ABBA mega mix. And the front row, right in the front, there was a guy who just, over the top of the track, shouted, why are they not singing? Are they meant to be singing? I can't hear you. Sing up. And we were just like, during RUJAZZLE's solo part of the medley, I went over to the mic and I was like, this is a lip sync, not a sing along. Clap your hands.
That was excruciating. Why are they no singing? Sing up.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. You need to sing louder. I was like, we're not trying to sing.
It also didn't help that sound system was diabolical and the track itself was like a whisper, so it was not great. I mean, I like my tracks loud, as we all know, but I think when you are performing and you can hear
your heels clacking,
yeah, when you can hear your jewelry clacking or your heels, then you know the track is too quiet.
Yes.
Well, I think that's all we have time for. We will probably film another video like this at some point. But yes, thank you for joining me, CJ.
For having me on your channel. Oh my god, it's the fun.
Now, CJ, where can the children follow you?
All social media at the CJ Banks. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I don't use them, but Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube. I have them.
Well, darlings, thank you all for watching, and thank you to CJ for just being her fabulous self. Make sure you do follow CJ on all of her platforms. She's a very, very talented queen and just an all-round lovely person. And we have our podcast now as well, so make sure you stream that, show it love, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Mwah.